want to keep good players. Breece being one of those guys, got a chance to know him throughout this year. We've been working to try and get to a long-term deal, keep him around. If we can't do so, we'll exercise one of those options just to make sure we keep him around and continue to work towards a deal. So
2026 NFL Combine is underway here in Indianapolis, and coming up, you're going to hear from Jets head coach Aaron Glenn and GM Darren Mougey. AG is going to tell you why he has taken over defensive play calling duties. GM Darren Mougey is also going to talk about Breece Hall and what his future is ahead with the green and white. Both men are also going to comment on their thoughts on the Jets quarterback position here heading into a very important offseason.
We beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
It's picked off. Aaron Glenn. Jumbled and caught. Jumbo Elliott. One-handed catch. Chris Paul gets running loose. Revis can't wait.
Aaron, you're the ultimate competitor. Last year, when you left that field in Buffalo, the season ends, do you use that as fuel to your fire, or do you bury?
You know what? I would answer that two different ways. Number one, at some point you have to bury it, but you also never forget. And last year was a tough season, and I know that. Coaching staff knows that. Players know that. So it's our job to change that narrative, and the only way you change a narrative is by winning. And that's been the total focus of this new staff that I've put together. Obviously, the players that we have, and then the new players that we will bring in to be a part of this program. But it all starts with how we operate as a coaching staff, because they look at us and they get their answers from us. And then once they get those answers, then they start to formulate exactly how they're going to operate in the locker room. And that's when that culture starts to build. So, we're looking forward to this offseason. We really are, with the draft capital that we have, with the free, with the cap situation that we have. This is going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
The first thing they had to do was get your coaching staff in place. Can we speak about Brian Duker and the familiarity with you that you have with him, and also the synergy that you guys have had over the years?
Yeah. Let me go back and let me say this first. The evaluation process took some time, and it was meant to be that way, because I want to make sure that I make the right decision, and I'm a guy that never makes rash decisions. And going through this process allowed me to create the type of vision that I wanted when it came to this coaching staff. And the one thing that came out of this vision was I was going to have a huge part of the defense, and obviously I was going to call the defensive plays. That's what I'm going to do this year. And then when I started looking at the defensive staff, I want to bring guys in that knew exactly what I want to do. And being with Brian for 3 years, man, was outstanding, because he was with me when we were in the mud in Detroit, to where we wasn't that good. It was a totally different defense structure. And we built that defense all to be a top 10 in a number of categories in 2024. Obviously, he wasn't there, but he was a huge part of that for 3 years. So he knows exactly what I want to do. He knows exactly how I want to install. He knows every part of the defense that we want to build, and we're still building it, because we have new guys in who's going to have a huge part of the schematics. So he knows everything about me, and I'm happy that he's around me again.
When you went through that interview process, as far as filling the defensive coordinator vacancy, did it become clear at a certain point that, man, I really want to get back into it as far as calling the plays? Because you just mentioned it. You said, I feel like it's my superpower.
No doubt. And it really is. And the reason that I say that is I knew where I started as a play caller and where I ended up. To really start to get in the groove of okay, this is how I'm playing against this coordinator from whoever the other team is. And Brian was a huge part of that, and helping me develop that. I miss it. I really do. And it's a competitive thing. It really is, to be honest with you. But again, I do feel like it's my superpower. So I think that's one mistake that I made last year, of not doing that. And I said before that I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made in 25, so that's why I'm looking forward to 26. I plan on doing everything I need to do to put this team in position to win games.
What do you envision this being schematically? I imagine you want to be diverse and multiple. But with that being said, like you talked about your time in Detroit.
Yeah.
We saw you attack it differently.
You know what? The way that I want to answer that question is obviously there's going to be some things that we did in Detroit, but man, I have guys like Dundee, Carl Dunbar, that's been a part of a really good system. I'm going to listen to him. Ben Bolin, that's been a part of a really good system in Houston. I'm going to listen to him. But ultimately, the crux of it is going to be a lot of things that we did in Detroit. Because I think that allows us to be really multiple when it comes to who we are. It's 4-3 personnel. We can be 3-4 principals. We can be 4-3 if we want to. And that's the good thing about it. And, man, I have a coaching staff on the defensive side that really understands that. And the synergy that we have, that we've been talking and trying to build this thing, has been outstanding. And I'm looking forward to the go forward.
What gravitated you towards Frank during your search for a new offensive coordinator? Yeah. Former teammate of yours back in 1996.
No doubt. With every coach, and I would say that it's the character. Man, he is one of a kind. He is the salt of the earth. And there aren't too many men that, that really operate the way he does. And I was like, Curtis Martin is one of those guys. And to me, he reminds me of Curtis so much, just about his faith and the way that he goes about doing things. And number one, he was a successful offensive coordinator that won a Super Bowl. He was a successful head coach. And for me to bring somebody on the staff with that type of experience, it was a no-brainer for me.
You guys have said that you're going to exhaust all options at the quarterback position. Do you like the way it's set up from a coaching perspective? Because not only did it bring in Frank, a guy who Bill Polian referred to as perhaps the best backup quarterback in the history of this league, and you just talked about his coaching experience. Did a lot of good things right here with the Colts.
No doubt.
As head coach, and he's worked with a number of different quarterbacks, but you also hired Bill Musgrave,
no doubt,
quarterbacks coach.
Absolutely. Here's the thing is, we have so much time, between now and when OTAs or when Phase 3 starts, to have a guy out there behind at the quarterback position for us, that we're going to continue to exhaust every option, to get the right person. And we have guys on staff right now, within our program. And also, man, there's a number of different things outside of it, from trades to free agency to the draft, that we're going to continue to evaluate to make sure we get the right guy. So between me and Mooj, man, we're going to exhaust every option to make sure we do that. And more than anything, we're going to make the right decision for this team, and that's what's most important.
Can you speak about that relationship, how it's been strengthened over time, you and Mooj, working through last year and now as you look ahead?
Man, it's been outstanding. And to be able to have this marriage with a GM like that is probably one of the best things you could have as a head coach. We see it exactly alike. We understand the fire that we go through when it comes to criticism and things like that. And, man, we just put our heads down and we just keep moving forward. And that's what I love about him. He has that competitive fire just like I do, and he wants to win just as bad as I do. And he understands that it's going to take both of us to try to get this together. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure we get that done.
And lastly, let's get out of here with this one. What can you say about where we are in the calendar? You're here at the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
But then you get back and you got a week. NFL league year commences. The negotiation window is right around the corner, March 9th.
No doubt. No doubt. And we look forward to every part of it. The only thing that I do know is this. While we're doing all that, man, we're trying to schematically make sure that we're on point. So once these players come in, when we have a ironclad scheme that they're going to buy into, and it's going to help them be successful.
Appreciate your time as always, AG.
I appreciate you.
Darren, how important are the next couple weeks for this franchise?
Really important next few weeks. And I really enjoy this part of the process. It's fun for me to get to work with the scouts, work with the coaches as we go through the free agency process, and then kind of juggle both and transition to the draft studies and obviously the combine here this week and then the pro days. I love it though, and it's a very important time.
Can you speak to that? How do you juggle both of those things? Because there's 319 prospects that were invited here to Indianapolis, and you have a ton of staffers on the ground here. But then you get back from Indy, and you have a week before the NFL's negotiation period opens up.
Yeah. No, it is a lot to juggle, but I feel really good about where we're at and how we handle it because of the people and the processes we have in place. We got a great in-house group of scouts in-house back in Jersey, and then obviously on the road. So our processes and the people we have allows me to juggle it and feel really good about, heading into each process and the decisions we'll make.
I don't want to say it's easier now, but can you take me through the past year, maybe compared to where you were at this point?
Oh, yeah.
With boots on the ground, Indy?
I wouldn't say it's easier because it's still a lot of work and a lot of big decisions to be made, but you feel much more comfortable today than I would say a year ago. Just knowing the staff, knowing our processes, knowing the people, feel really good about where we're at today and excited for the opportunity ahead.
AG was talking about your involvement in the coaching search. Can you speak to the new staff? AG, maybe we start with your thoughts on AG calling plays on the defensive side of the ball and saying that's his superpower.
Yeah. Well, a few things there. One, let's just start with the process. I thought it was a really good process. AG and I think you mentioned Rick Spielman was involved in that too. So I always enjoy that. I got to be a part of every interview for these coordinators and a few of the position coaches as well. Rick Spielman, and I enjoy that part of meeting these people, meeting these coaches, talking football, getting off the Zoom or getting done with the interview, and then sitting around AG, myself, Rick, AG, getting our perspective, our feedback, our opinions on these guys, and feel really good about how the staff came together in regards to AG calling plays. I can tell you, I had a feeling we'd get to this.
You did.
And it was at the end of the year when we decided to move on from Coach Wilkes, and AG was getting more involved in the defense during the week, and he was getting out his old play call sheets, and we were having discussions about how he saw the game plan, how he would call plays and his tip sheets for players, and it kind of lit up like a new life. And I remember at the end of the first week, he said, man, I love being in there with these guys, and I kind of missed calling plays. And that was just early, right? And then we're going to go through this process, but as we'd have these discussions, really felt him leaning back in there like, I just want to call it. I want to call it. I'm excited about calling it. I want to do it. So I had a feeling, at the end of the year, and as we went through the process, it became clear, and I'm excited for him.
After you guys officially announced Brian Duker as defensive coordinator, we actually did an internal study just looking across the league to see how many head coaches do indeed call plays on either side of the ball. And I think the number we came up with was right around 25. So this is not an anomaly. You're seeing most head coaches who either came from an offensive background or a defensive background, and they're taking control.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I just know how excited AG is about the opportunity and putting this staff together. I feel really good about it.
And can you speak to talking with Frank over the past couple weeks? Obviously, he's got so much experience, not only as a player, but as an offensive coordinator and a head coach as well. Him taking the controls there and you guys exchanging thoughts on maybe what you're going to be schematically.
Yeah, getting to know Frank these past few weeks and still having dialogue really almost daily. I talked to him this morning. And Billy Musgrave as well.
Yeah.
Two experienced veteran coaches. I was around Billy in Denver for a period. And I'm excited to go through this quarterback process with those guys. And we've already had a lot of good discussions. I look forward to more. And even as we get through free agency and then into the draft process, we're already scheduling some workouts with some of these guys. So I'm excited about it. It's been really good so far. I like hearing their thinkings and how they view things. So I'm excited.
How huge is that to have those guys, not only Reich, but like you mentioned, Musgrave, no matter what direction you guys ultimately end at, as far as the quarterback position, because you said you're going to exhaust all options. That can include free agency, might be trade, might be draft. But you have guys right now who've seen it all.
Yeah, exactly. And they've done it a bunch of different ways. But I do think that quarterback play caller relationship and kind of fit is very important. So that's why I'm just trying to learn these guys as good as I can, have as much dialogue as we can.
You have 24 players, I think, have expiring contracts, including Breece Hall. Where does it stand with Breece right now from your mindset?
We're in a good place with Breece. Like I've said since I've got here, I want to keep good players. Breece being one of those guys. Got a chance to know him throughout this year. Obviously a really good player, good person. We've been working to try and get to a long-term deal, keep him around. If we can't do so, by that tag deadline next week, we'll exercise one of those options just to make sure we keep him around and continue to work towards the deal. So feel good about where that's at in terms of the other 24 players. We'll keep an eye and monitor several of those guys, but I'm excited about the opportunity to add some veteran players to this team. We've got one of the younger rosters in the NFL right now, so I really believe we're going to be able to add some good veteran players in this free agency class that can inject some veteran experience and leadership onto this young team.
Can you give us some insight into how you actually go out and build a free agency board prior to getting into it?
Yeah, it starts really the start of the season. I'll have some of my scouts, some are external, some are internal. We're doing little early free agency studies throughout the season where we're having Friday Zooms and stacking these guys and all the way up. And then at the end of the season, we're flip-flopping. And by the end of it, we're going to have 8 or 9 stacks and pods from different scouts, independent studies, eliminating bias. Then we do this background research on the back end and really just making sure we have the stacks and the fits right. And then there's the whole element when you get the coaches, and now we're talking more schematics and vision for players and roles, and maybe they have experience with a certain player. So there's a lot of steps to it, but it really starts week 1 of this past season.
What do you make of the financial flexibility that you've talked about for a bit, and then also the draft capital as on a whole when you look at the offseason from the Jets' perspective?
I'm excited about our opportunities ahead of us. And it does start with this free agency coming up here soon with the cap space we have. And like I just mentioned, some of these more veteran players, experienced players that are out there that may be available and fits for us. And then after we get through that, transition to the draft with 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, 2 in the first, 2 in the second. I'm just getting a chance to really meet some of these college prospects up and close, personal this week. Seeing them, eyeballing them, getting a chance to meet them, which I love. I love this time of year and process, and I'm excited about it.
Darren, appreciate your time.
Thanks.